Did you know that dementia doesn't just involve memory loss? It can also involve profound changes to behavior and personality. These behaviors can end up getting a person fired from their job, divorced, and even arrested. My mentor's mother, she was convinced that her sister was plotting to murder her. She was so convinced that she called the police, and she even tried to scale the neighbor's fence to try and get help. It was really, really upsetting for the family. Unfortunately, we don't have any treatments for these types of symptoms that are actually effective. This is particularly important because it's estimated that by the year 2050, there's going to be 132 million people worldwide living with dementia. There are different types of dementia, and they are caused by different diseases, and they affect different parts of the brain. The most common type of dementia is Alzheimer's dementia, but there are other types, including frontotemporal dementia, which is more likely to be associated with these sorts of behavioral changes. Importantly, different types of dementia causing diseases can be found in the same person's brain. One of the most disturbing symptoms of dementia is disinhibition, and this involves socially inappropriate behaviors. So, for example, people can have inappropriate sexual comments, inappropriate sexual actions, inappropriately approaching strangers on the street. Even they can have criminal behaviors like theft and assault. Different parts of the brain work in a coordinated manner to cause behavior, and these are known as functional brain networks. And by studying functional brain networks in people with different types of dementia, we can potentially identify brain network targets that can be applied regardless of the underlying disease that people have. And this is what I did in 75 people with frontotemporal dementia and 104 people with Alzheimer's dementia. Every person had an MRI of the brain and a caregiver rating of disinhibition. From everybody's MRI, I identified the cognitive control network. This network of the brain is important for higher level thinking, and it's the network that I predicted would be associated with disinhibition, regardless of what type of dementia people have. I looked at two measures of network functioning, the first being transitivity. This measures network segregation. Network segregation is important for allowing for specialized processing to occur in densely connected regions of the network. So think, for example, of a soccer team, and you can't see my little soccer players, but they were really cute little stick figures. So in a team with a high transitivity, there's a lot of connections or kicks between the players. And so this allows for specialized processing. So you have your goalkeeper and your midfielders who kick the ball to the striker, who is specialized for kicking goals. If you have a team with low transitivity, though, there are fewer passes between the players. And so when somebody gets the ball, they have to try and just kick a goal no matter what their position is, even if they're the goalkeeper. So the other measure of networks that I looked at is global efficiency. And this allows for the rapid combining of information from far apart regions of a network. So say, for example, you wanted to get from point A up in Evanston down to point B in the loop. You could take the red line and you'd have to stop at every single station. Or you could take the purple line during the rush period, which has fewer stops and therefore is more efficient. So, what did I find? So, in people who have disinhibition, who you can see here in blue, the cognitive control network was less segregated. So this means that there was less specialization of processing within parts of the cognitive control network in people with disinhibition compared to those without disinhibition who were shown in purple. Importantly, this was true regardless of which type of dementia people had. So this is the soccer analogy. Looking at the train analogy for global efficiency, in people with disinhibition, who again here are in blue, the cognitive control network was less integrated, meaning that information transfer was less efficient in people with disinhibition than in people without. And again, this is true for both types of dementia. So, to summarize, people with disinhibition, communication within the cognitive control network is worse. And this is true regardless of what type of dementia that people have. These findings have important implications for treatment, particularly if the treatments are focused on the cognitive control network. You can modify the cognitive control network using a special type of magnetic stimulation applied to the head, pictured here. And this is a safe and non-invasive way that you can modulate the cognitive control or other brain networks. As our population continues to age and there are still no treatments for dementia, these kinds of symptomatic treatments are going to be crucial for improving the lives of millions of people worldwide. Finally, I'd love to hear from you. If you have questions or comments or you want to collaborate, you can reach me at any of these methods, and I really hope that you do. Thanks for listening.